Alright, hello anybody watching this. So this is going to be basically a dive into a piece of code I finished writing yesterday. Well, at least the first part. I'm going to make a video series in levels of complexity here. So this is the base code that runs. You don't need much knowledge. Honestly, you could do this with a intro level C++ course worth of knowledge. Um, and it's pretty simple and it's pretty cool in my opinion, and it's going to become a lot cooler the more that I add to it. So basically, this is a piece of code that is pretty similar to the game um, Asteroid, I believe is the name of the game. Basically, you fly through space and you have to dodge asteroids. It's like a basic implementation of that type of code. So this is all extra right now. I'm going to add this in part two, even though it's really basic. It's just a plot that sets you up to hop on the ship or whatever. I'm more of a story type of guy, so I like to have some type of backbone before you just start, playing a quote unquote game. This is what we actually need to look at here. So basically, our ship has a path, and it starts in the middle. There's three coordinates on the X system, and the Y system is, it's unlimited because you're always going up in this uh, this simulation, I guess what you could call it. So there are asteroids in your path, and you have to shift to dodge asteroids. If you hit the asteroids, you take damage to the ship. If your ship takes too much damage, ship breaks, and you lose. So that's it for that part of the game for understanding it. And then this never got implemented because I actually thought it'd be better to just do images. But um, basically, I can delete this because this doesn't go with that. So basically, your options, other than guiding the ship, you have a menu. Your options at the moment are to synthesize gas or to repair defenses, which just repairs the defenses of the ship up to a point. And then there's a gravitational anomaly checker, right? So basically, this is what's cool and we need to implement later on. And I'll go over this in the next video I make. But basically, there's going to be like objects you're supposed to target in the space, and after you collect a certain amount of them, you can properly analyze um, the gravitational anomaly and send the information back to Earth, and it starts a whole new thing in the game. That's my idea at the moment. We'll see how that develops when I work on this. But there's a class ship. The data is just defense and gas, um, and that's it for this. It's really basic. If you need to read this rather than my explanation of it, it's probably a bit easier. This is all extra at the moment, but this is the basic information. So let's go back to the code here. So we have all the code right here. As you can see, this is a function that returns a character, and the character is just the choice of which one of these they choose for the menu. And we don't get to that yet, it's further down. So first, let's take a look at the main file. So we have a default random engine based on time, and then we have a couple default functions, right? Or uniform distribution functions. So this one is the x coordinate of the asteroids that get spawned. It's 1 through 3. There's only 3 x coordinates, and the y coordinates, they spawn 3 through 7. I think I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, we'll do 3 through 7. And the asteroid collision, this is the damage inflicted if it does collide. It's random between 100 and 400. So, this is the ship fuel loss. That's why I have an L here. Each iteration of this loop, you lose 10 to 26 fuel. And if you choose to gain fuel, you get anywhere from 20 to 36 fuel gained on your menu. The ship repair, if the ship's damaged, you can repair at 40 to 76. It's random. So first, we create our ship here. Our ship has a position. It's not inside of the ship that we actually keep the position, but we can tweak this later on and maybe add an int x coordinate, int y coordinate, or something like that. And that'd probably be pretty cool. And we can keep track of where the ship's been, like a graph, like a 2D line. But at the moment, we don't have that. We just have these x coordinates in main. And then we have the same for the asteroids. This, I definitely do not want to make an asteroid class because this is kind of a basic part of the game that doesn't matter all that much. So the simpler the better. Um, we have a character pilot choice, and then we have a um, integer fuel val. You can see these don't have values yet. This does. You start at 0 for the y coordinate, in the middle for the x coordinate. But you can see here we have the fuel value, which is empty, and the character pilot choice, which is empty. Um, so we also have this, which is to be implemented later on, so don't worry about it for now. But we start our while loop. We set user choice equal to something other than this. We start it. Then we output some information. We output our ship's health, our fuel, the x and the y coordinate, and then some art. So if the x coordinate of the asteroid, which at the moment the asteroid hasn't been found, so we don't have to worry about this, but if the x coordinate of the asteroid is 1, asteroid's on the left side, 2, it's in the middle, 3, it's over here. What I think I'm going to do later on is add more dice rolls to this, right? So 4 can be like 2 asteroids on the left, 5 can be an asteroid on the middle and the right, and then 6 can be maybe all asteroids or something, and you're forced to take damage, but we have a reduced damage, and that's maybe my idea. But at the moment, it's the basic implementation. We'll look at that in the next video. And then we have a for loop that just iterates through basically from 0 to the distance, which is y, the asteroid y, between, it's right here, 3 to 7, right? Between the ship and the asteroid, it just outputs an inline, so there's spaces between it. And we just have, yeah, that's alright. We have some statements here. Basically, it's the ship, quote unquote ship, it's just this, for this, the area the ship's on, x, 1, x equals 2, x equals 3. And then ship art, I'm going to implement this beneath it. It's just going to be kind of like a ACI art of like what it looks like to be looking through like a ship's like controls, if that makes sense. And then it just outputs piloting log. You get to choose which one you're going to do. Switch statement. If you choose A, stay on course, nothing happens. If you choose B, you get to choose where you're shifting it to. And if you choose wrong, it's not valid. And default, not valid. So you can't break this. And then we have a switch. Again, notice we don't have a break here because this would break this switch and then in turn break the loop. And then break the code. So we have a switch here that takes user choice menu, which takes the menu up here. The options are A, B, C. And first of all, if we choose A, which is to repair the ship, if the health's greater than 550, then we can't do it because I don't want the ship to just be beefed up on health. But if it's less, then you can do it, and it repairs it by the random value. If not, ship can't be further repaired. Case B, this is for fuel. Basically, we get a fuel value from the random generator. I think it's 20 to 36. Yep. And then after we do that, we go ahead and we set it. We get the value that was in there. We add the value generated to it. Then we set it. Then we output we've synthesized this much fuel. And if not, can't synthesize further fuel. And case C, this is going to be implemented later on. If basically we find a graviton, which are going to be randomly generated, same as asteroids, it's going to be like a 1 in 3 chance of a graviton being generated. You don't need to worry about this now. We'll explain it in the next video. But this will be implemented later on. Then this down here is what keeps the code, actually working. So each iteration of the loop, we increment the y coordinate of the ship, and then we decrement the y coordinate of the asteroid. So they end up colliding. We don't need to really worry about making this all that fancy or whatever. We could probably just do this. That's a bit cleaner. Delete this. Yes, there we go. So they get closer once they collide. If they collide, this is how we know. If this is equal to 0, it decrements each iteration, and the coordinates are the same, we know there's been a collision. So we output a collision has occurred, get the damage from the random 100 to 400 generator at the top. Then we set our health to what it was minus the damage. Then we output as much damage as done. If nothing has occurred, then obviously it's not going to say a collision's occurred because this won't happen. So this is just checking for the asteroid collision. And this is the asteroid creation. So in the first iteration of the loop, you can see that this has no value in it and this has no value in it. So this code up here does nothing because these have nothing in it. So this part never even happens. This does so. So we have this that gets generated if the asteroid's already passed less than or equal to 0. Then we generate an x value, and then we generate a y value of the asteroid, the coordinate, and then that gets re-implemented at the top at the start of the loop. And then this is just basically ensuring that our fuel and everything's good. So each iteration of the loop, we lose a random amount of fuel because every time you move, you lose fuel. And then we set our fuel, how much we lost. We set it to what it was. We get it minus the fuel value. And then if our health 0 or our fuel 0, ship's beyond repair mission is ended. And break the loop, break the system. So that's it for the main file. The ship one's pretty basic. It's just health and fuel. Get and sets. CPP, we just have it set to 300 and 500. We only have one instance of the ship, which we created right here. So we'll go ahead and run this. So as you can see, there is nothing at the moment at the top. So let's go ahead and stay on course. And we will do some fuel. Alright, now we have our first asteroid. So we are out of the range of the asteroid, but we'll shift position just to show we can. So we should be in the 3rd position now. Perfect. We'll shift position again to the first one. Keyboard turned off. There we go. And we will do this. It seems to be running normally. This is never going to change in this video because we haven't tweaked it. So let's see what happens if we collide. Asteroid collision has occurred. Asteroids inflicted 253 damage to our ship. So you can see our ship's health is down a good bit. Our ship's fuel is pretty decent. You see our coordinates up here, 112. So we are on the x coordinate 1 and the y coordinate 12. So I mean that's basically all there is to this for now. If we if we kill the program or whatever, we can go to, I guess it's 3. I think that's 2. Shift position, I think it's 2. I'm not even sure what that position is. We'll see. I guess that's, yeah, it was 3. We should probably put in some extra spaces there. Let's see. That's a bit better. But I mean that's it for this basically. Once the health gets to 0, it breaks a loop and it ends. So it's pretty easy. It's pretty basic. Pretty basic implementation of an asteroid type game. In the next video, I'm gonna have tweaked some more stuff, and I'm added some cooler things to it. We're gonna implement in the next video. We're going to add the extra asteroid options, and then we are also going to add, where is it? It's up here somewhere. We're gonna add this gravitational, whatever gravitons found. Basically, it's gonna be a collection of gravitons. You have to collect a random number. I'll have it generate a random number so it's different each time you run the program, between like, I don't know, maybe 15 and 20 something, right? And once you collect 15 to 20 of them, we're basically gonna add something extra to where like there's a big one, and once you find the big one or something like that, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But this is to be implemented. The ship art will be implemented in the next part, and then all of this will be implemented in the next video, or at least a good chunk of this. This is probably a bit extra. I don't really need to do all that. It's kind of just setting the game up. So that's it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I'm gonna go ahead and post this on YouTube. So if anyone's watching this, it's a basic asteroid type game implementation that can be done without using arrays. It's not really using anything complex at all. So I think it's pretty cool. And here's the code if anyone needs a look. We've only included random, time, and IO stream in the chip. It's pretty basic. We will be adding to this now. We might even add some cool stuff, maybe including like lists. Maybe we'll have like a list of crew members or something that maybe a whole another thing. We have to worry about their health or something. Who knows? But that's it for this. Everyone have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the video if anyone's watching this. Hope you got something out of it if you're watching this.